The Patriots lost to the Arizona Cardinals, but the Giants and the Raiders also lost their matchups as well in Week 15. So New England seems to be standing put at the third pick overall in the 2025 NFL Draft, pending the last three games against the Bills, and the Chargers. So we're going to break down a little bit of draft rumors here on this show, but we're also going to break down one particular player on this team that may or may not have a position next year. But before I hop into that, I want to ask you guys this question. Do you want the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft? Do you guys think we can end up having, unfortunately, the worst record in the 2024 NFL season? Go ahead and like this video if you guys want to secure the first pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. I know, I don't like to really focus on the draft right now while we're still playing in the middle of the Patriots football season, but look, with 3 games left, and they're probably one of the toughest opponents in the NFL right now, it's kind of safe to say that we can start looking ahead because we now know what the Patriots are going to need moving forward and what that will look like. Before I move forward, let's take it back 1 year. Let's look at all the fresh faces in the class of 2024. Drake May, obviously now the future of our franchise. Ja'Lynn Polk, Caden Wallace, Layden Robinson. Then you go all the way down to Joe Milton and Jaheim Bell, who's been a name for himself in that tight end room, mainly in the practice squad. But I want to talk about one player from this recent draft pickings. I want to talk about Ja'Lynn Polk because he is now being declared by some NFL analysts that he can be considered an NFL draft bust, which is extremely unfortunate with the 37th overall pick in this last draft. You took Drake May, and then you took Polk because you had the plan to put them together to give your top quarterback a top wide receiver, and Polk has been the absolute complete opposite. In 13 games played, he's had 12 receptions on 32 targets for 87 yards. 21 is his longest reception of the year. And yes, he does have 2 touchdown passes and catches in this season, but they were less than 5 yards, so it's really not the most glamorous stat of all. But here is that now we have Scott Zolak, who is saying what he really thinks about Ja'Lynn Polk and his performance so far this year. I'm to the point right now, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, it feels to me that N'Keal Harry had a bigger impact here than what Ja'Lynn Polk is gonna have. And obviously, Harry was kind of just that mid-level player. He wasn't anything flashy. He moved the chains a little bit, but once again, it just kind of looked flatline. And now we're over here saying Patriots insiders are comparing Ja'Lynn Polk, who you took your second-round draft pick on, to a guy that was in New England for 3 years and pretty much did nothing while he was there. 12 receptions for 33 targets. 12 receptions for 24 targets on 105 yards, 33 for 57 with 309 yards. That's probably his best season in New England. And then 12 catches on 22 targets for less than 200 yards. And I'm going to be honest, I kind of agree with him. It is, as of right now, what he's showing us in his rookie year, it is trending the way of one N'Keal Harry. And he continued to say, look, in his early days, he has done more than Ja'Lynn Polk, and that shocks the hell out of me. Because I was a huge Polk guy coming out of Washington. Massive production, great route runner. We're down here doing our show every summer. You can see him make plays in practice. I came away from camp thinking this guy is going to be your number one because he would catch everything. He wasn't blowing by anybody, but you can at least see he belonged. And I remember watching the preseason highlights. Ja'Lynn Polk was elite with Drake May throwing in the football. They always stayed after practice. And now he can't find Drake May in an empty room. But basically, when you break it down to this is the end-all, be-all of what Ja'Lynn Polk's first year as a Patriot has looked like. He has averaged less than 0.5 yards on 234 routes and 401 offensive snaps played this last year. He is currently the worst wide receiver in the NFL, ranking 101st out of 101 receivers. And this is Polk, right? Who said he has the best hands in the NFL, has completely lied to us. It's just not true. We've tried numerous times to get him involved in the personnel, get him involved in the routes, get him involved early in the season, and Polk time and time again has showed us that he cannot be reliable. And at this point, it's disappointing for two reasons. Number one, it's disappointing because, yes, you did take your second-round draft pick on this guy, but it's also disappointing because you hope that he's okay. You hope that mentally, whatever he's dealing with, because obviously it looks like the yips, it looks like he's got some mental barriers to overcome. It's disappointing because you hope that he is going to be able to prove us wrong, and you hope that he is going to be able to handle this, possibly a little bit of pressure heading into his second year in the NFL, because I know it's not easy. I'm sure it's not easy transitioning from college to professional. But at some point, you've got to make that jump, and you've got to prove why you're in the league, and so far he hasn't done that. So my word is going to be disappointing to describe Ja'Lynn Polk for this last year, but I want you guys to go on ahead and describe Polk's rookie season in the comment section down below for me. This one will be the pinned comment on today's show, so go on ahead and take your time. But next, I do want to talk about all roads pointing towards Travis Hunter, a possible next pick for the Patriots, maybe, maybe not, and what he could look like in the NFL. And if it's not Travis Hunter, who will the Patriots look at to try and fill the shoes that Ja'Lynn Polk was supposed to wear? Before I jump into that, I do want to tell you guys about our sponsor here on Patriots Today by Chat Sports. Let me tell you guys about Game Time. This is the #1 app I use and everybody that I know uses to get tickets to their sporting event, concert, comedy show, or maybe even the theater. Game Time is the only place I go when I'm trying to get tickets, especially when I have in-laws in town, my family, or my friends. I love spending quality time, and I think quality time is one of the best gifts you can give for the holiday season, so why not get them tickets to an event that you guys can spend together? Not to mention, when you use Game Time, you're going to get the lowest price guaranteed. You're also going to get all-in pricing, which I absolutely love. There are no surprise fees at checkout, and one of my favorite features is the fact that you can see your seats in the app before you buy with a nice little 180 panoramic view. This last weekend, my boyfriend's brother and sister-in-law were in town. We decided to take them to an NHL Dallas Stars game. They had never been to a professional hockey game, and I decided to jump on Game Time, and I actually used Game Time Picks, which is a feature that makes getting tickets to your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands and thousands of tickets. I actually found these seats, and they gave me 10% off. It was a great time. We had a blast, and I got to save myself some money. So if you guys want to go on ahead and download the Game Time app, use promo code Chat Sports. This will give you guys $20 off your first time buying tickets while terms apply. One more time, download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code Chat Sports, CHATSPORTS, for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today, because what time is it? It is game time. When you saw the draft order as of right now, the beginning of this show, it looks like the Giants and the Raiders are going to be ahead of the Patriots. But here's the good news, is that overall, if the Patriots can at least keep that third pick in the NFL draft, they can still get the top player in the draft. Why? Because the Raiders and Giants need one thing. They both need quarterbacks. Thankfully, we took care of that last year, and we have Drake May, so we don't have to use our first pick this year on a quarterback. So if you do keep number 3, you can get the best skills player in the NFL draft. And I do think that since the Patriots tried to hit a home run with Ja'Lynn Polk last year, the number one thing they need to do with their first-round draft pick, if it's not going to be an offensive lineman, which I do stand by, they do need to address that hole at wide receiver that Ja'Lynn Polk has unfortunately left wide open for the next class to come in and take. And I was looking at a couple of mock drafts around the internet, and I found CBS Sports' latest mock draft after Week 15, and they have round 1, pick 3, the New England Patriots not taking Travis Hunter, but taking Tetairoa McMillan. I absolutely love McMillan for Drake May. And you're going to hear me talk a lot about this guy as well, but the number one reason is because you can't teach 6'6". The offensive line, obviously a huge priority for New England, but Tetairoa having that height, having that ability to separate from defenders, and having a quarterback that has a little bit of an inaccuracy problem, that is going to be a fantastic target for Drake May. But I also want to point this out, because I know everybody has opinions about certain players. It's why we love sports. But I look at analysts, and I look at PFF, which I trust their analytics and their website very much. PFF's top 5 wide receiver prospects do not have Travis Hunter listed as a top 5 receiver. That may be because he hasn't declared which position he is going to play in the NFL. But as of right now, if they need a wide receiver, the best overall pick to get at number 3 pending the Raiders and Giants taking quarterback, is Tetairoa McMillan. So we have analysts out there saying that Travis Hunter is not a top 5 wide receiver. I think he is phenomenal in the way that his burst speaks for himself. I think that he always finds a way to headhunt the ball. Whether that throw is going to be spot on or it's 5 yards out ahead of him, he will accelerate. He always seems to find a way to make that most whimsical catch and end up on ESPN SportsCenter top 10. But some analysts don't think that in terms of both positions, he's a better receiver than he is a cornerback. And I'll be honest, I don't think we need him at wide receiver. And I do think that if you're going to spend your first pick, I'd rather go out and get a secure guy like Tetairoa McMillan than the potential best player in the draft. It sounds kind of crazy because I would not be mad if we ended up getting Travis Hunter, but if we get him, I would rather use him in the secondary with Christian Gonzalez. I would rather have Tetairoa McMillan at wide receiver, but the unfortunate part is that you can't have both. So Elliott Wolf in New England is going to have a very tough decision to think about, but if you already knew you swung and missed as of the rookie season with Ja'Lynn Polk, why not go out, make a splash, kind of refund the Patriots fans and give them a receiver that they can root for with Drake May, and I think it's McMillan. I don't think it's Travis Hunter. I think that is a secondary player that would fit perfectly with Christian Gonzalez, but we need help on offense before I even think about going to the defensive side of the ball. So my question here for you guys is, do you want the Patriots to draft Travis Hunter? I know a lot of us can go back and forth on this. There's a lot of needs the Patriots need heading into next season. So go on ahead, like this video if you guys think, yes, you want Hunter in a Patriots uniform. And as always, if you guys want the latest news, rumors, and anything around the Patriots, all you guys have to do is subscribe.